What is up, everybody? It is finally iPhone 17 release day, and I picked up my two phones. Today we're going to be going over the iPhone 17 Pro Max in the brilliant orange here. You know, I was debating between the orange and the blue. Decided to go with the orange. It's just a little bit more vibrant, kind of really sticks out. Every iPhone, I kind of go with the new color. Last year I did go with black because there wasn't really a new one that I really loved, but I had done the light blue and the purple in the years before. So the orange one is it this year. It is the 256 gigabyte iPhone 17 Pro Max. So we are going to be getting the bigger size there. We're going to be going over the box, the insides, what's new with the phone, and everything in between, and comparing it a little bit to the 16 Pro Max, which I have to the side here. So if you guys are excited for me to unbox this, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Going to be doing another iPhone Air unboxing coming up soon this week, so stay tuned for that as well. Let's get right into the unboxing. So here it is, the brilliant box. You kind of see the orange iPhone on the front, and as you may have known, you know, this is actually raised up a little bit on the edges and on the camera. It's kind of fun to touch, to be honest with you. Just gives a little bit of the texture. On the sides here, the iPhone is in the same color. On the back, you get the normal Apple packaging, you know, your pull tabs, everything like that. No plastic, which is always good. And then the Apple logo, which is in the orange as well. You know, typical Apple box here. And then going into the back, we do have the two pull tabs. So we're going to finally get this open. There's one, and here is number two. All right, and we are officially broken the box, turning it over. Slowly pull the top off of this. You know, real big kind of, you know, that camera plateau cutout right there. So you can see that, and then nothing else in the top of the box. But here it is, so brand new, clean iPhone. I've not touched one of these even at the Apple store when I picked it up. So super excited to get the first feel of that. And even for the Air, I didn't pick it up because I just wanted to get full first impressions of this phone. So here we go. Pulling it out, let's grab the little pull tab on the bottom, flip it over. All right, we still got that on there. Putting it down softly. What else is in the box here? Just the USB-C to C cable. No more charging brick. So if you're in need of a faster charging brick to take advantage of some of the speeds on this thing, you're gonna have to go and pick that up. If I can recommend Anchor, not sponsored by them, but highly recommend their products. Buy them all the time. Super well made and get me through everything, especially in travel. So just the USB-C cord, and then one little sheet of paper. Just says iPhone. Actually, it is two sheets, and no longer need a physical SIM card. Everything on these phones is eSIM, unless you're in a specific country that still allows SIM cards. But if you are going for the Air, and I'll get into this in that video, it is 100% eSIM. And then just another little tidbit on the phone itself, nothing else in the box there. So we can finally put that to the side and focus right in on this beautiful new phone. This orange is crazy. Just first impressions off the bat, you know, the glass on the back here is actually lighter than I thought it would be, which is kind of nice because it adds a really cool contrast. And then the orange is a pretty deep orange in specific lightings. But when I was at the Apple store and I just looked at it, it seemed really bright, and I was like, maybe I made the wrong decision. But in this lighting right now, I'm loving the orange. Out here is a pretty deep orange, and with the shadows, it looks absolutely phenomenal. But if you go with the blue, also a great choice, or any of the other colors, it's up to your preference, but I always tend to get the newer color. So here it is. And then immediately you can see the camera plateau, as Apple calls it, no longer the camera bump. Rumors are, you know, that's not even allowed to be said within Apple Park out in California. It is now the camera plateau. And then obviously that glass, the Apple logo is moved down just a little bit with the MagSafe. So no problems there. I actually don't mind the design. They centered it onto this instead of centering it on the phone where it would have sat right there. You know, if you're a design person or something like that, it might irk you, but I got no issues with it at all. On the sides, we do have the full aluminum unibody design. So it is a clean curve all the way around. There isn't two parts anymore, like on the 16s where you had the glass back and then the titanium siding and then the glass on the front. So full aluminum on the sides, and it is aluminum because it's taking advantage of that new vapor chamber, which dissipates heat better than titanium. So that's why they went back to aluminum, and it is a little bit lighter as well. So this phone is pretty big, probably would have been really heavy with those bigger batteries, vapor chamber, all that. So I'm actually happy they went back to aluminum. No more little scuffs on the edges of the phone if you drop it or just nick it like that the titanium had in some of its colors. But we'll have to see how the aluminum does. All right, and then flipping it over, the moment of truth here. And there it is. The cover is off the screen now. The iPhone 17 Pro Max is fully unboxed. We're gonna boot this bad boy up and really see how bright and glorious this thing really is. All right, let's turn this on for the first time. And there it is, Apple logo popping up as expected. I think it would be cool, you know, like when you open a Mac for the first time and then you take the sheet off, how it, you know, starts up automatically. It'd be really cool if the iPhone did that. I don't really know what makes the Mac do that at all. I truly don't have a clue. It's probably not with the cameras, it's probably with the lid opening and things like that. But, you know, maybe they'll do it one day. So here we go, it is turned on, and we do have the new background going through the hellos in every different language. We're gonna go ahead and quick set this up, and I'll be right back. All right, so here we go, we got it all set up. I didn't set it up with eSIM yet or anything like that, just gonna go bare bones for now. Walk you through some of the new device and iOS 26. And on the front, we have Apple's new Ceramic Shield 2, which makes it harder to scratch and harder to break. So a harder to break iPhone is always good, you know, if you accidentally drop it from your pocket or anything like that. Hopefully you have a case on it, but if you're one of those people that just has a naked iPhone, it's gonna be much more durable this year, which is always great. And one of the really cool things of iOS 26 is a new liquid glass. So hopefully my hand isn't in the way, but as we go, you can see all of that screen kind of morphing with that liquid glass, and that is such a cool effect. So looking at the side, we still have the camera button that came out last year. Same thing as it was before, all I have to do is press that in and then lightly touch it to get into your settings and everything like that. Again, let me know in the comments if you guys actually use that. But for me, it's mostly just, you know, opening the camera and then I'll tap and everything else. So looking at the first impressions of the new camera screen with iOS 26, you still have the 0.5, then you have 1x, you have a 28mm, a 35mm, and then back to 24. Then you have a 2x zoom, 4x zoom, and then a brand new 8x zoom, which is absolutely incredible. And I'm going to get into that in some of my other pictures and photos and everything else later. And then one of the new things is the brand new front-facing camera, 18 megapixels with center stage. Don't mind the stuff behind me on the bed. Just getting the video ready. Didn't really feel like cleaning it up. So one of the really cool things about this is it now has, with center stage, the ability to make it wider without having to turn your phone sideways like this to take a selfie and having like weird eye angles and everything like that because you're not actually looking at the camera, you're looking at where you are in the photo, and it's just weird. So now selfies are way better. You can see yourself, and then there is a button right here that you can touch that opens it up, and you can see that now it's wider without having to actually turn your camera sideways, which is phenomenal. And I think this is one of the biggest upgrades that Apple came out with at the Apple event. It's just so cool, and I'm glad they saved this and didn't bring it out in iOS 26 back in June. Another thing that you can do is that you can go into the screen and then you can hit auto zoom and auto rotate on. So if you need a bigger screen or anything like that, it's going to manually adjust for you and your friends to get everyone in depending on how big that photo needs to be. So really awesome feature there. You know, I'm definitely going to be using this, and I think everyone should give it a try. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about it and if you're excited to try it. Nothing too new in the video section, still up here. You can get up to 4K 120 now, which is really great, but you can stick with 60, 120 for more frames. And then also, you still have that 120 hertz display, speaking of that, which goes to every iPhone now. So big upgrade to anyone getting the 17 and the Air, you get that 120 ProMotion screen resolution. So awesome upgrades for everyone into that. So getting into the new video screen as well, you still have your settings up here at the top, HD 30, and then you can switch over to 4K, 4K 60, and now 4K 120. As you saw, you only get 2 times zoom with that, and if you go to 4K 60, you still get 8 times zoom, so you're gonna have to pick and choose which one you want, if you want more frames or if you want more zoom. But I mean, zoom, do you really use it on videos all that often? Maybe, maybe not, mostly for pictures, so I wouldn't worry too much about that, but it's a really nice option to have the 4K 120. Then going into this upper section here, you have your flash, exposure, action mode, and dual camera. So we can go into dual camera here, and you can see there is my Apple Vision Pro, and there's me as I'm recording this. So you can now record a video of whatever is out in front of you. See, there's my front camera, there's my big camera looking down, there's the case and everything else on my desk as I'm recording, and recording myself as well. One thing to note on this though is that it doesn't record in 2 different files. It's still one file. So unlike Samsung or Google, where it has had this for a while and it records 2 different videos and you can kind of place it wherever you want in post editing, you can only do that once here. You can move this around where you are on the screen, which is really nice to keep it out of the way. But once it's there and it's recorded, you're not gonna be able to move that afterwards. So just keep that in mind. But dual camera, really cool feature. Also, maybe second best thing that has come out on the new iPhones. So looking at the sides, you can see that the 17 Pro Max is thicker, 8.75 versus 8.25, so a 0.5 millimeter thicker on the new 17 Pro Maxes. And then you can really tell on the back with that unibody design right there in the corners, much more beveled there and rounded versus, you know, the 16 Pro Max, which I thought the 16 Pro Max at the time was really rounded. It felt good for the time, but you know, it's multi-piece design. You have the outside titanium, then you have the back glass. Now you just have one straight aluminum piece all the way around the chassis of the phone. So a little bit thicker, a little bit heavier, but all around, I think a better feel. And then obviously the massive difference between the two is the cameras. So you still have your triple camera layout, but here you just have the camera bump. Here you have the camera plateau with everything moved around. And then inside of this is your Wi-Fi chip, your Apple Silicon, a couple of other things, huge battery all the way down here, and then a vapor chamber here to take all that heat out from the top and kind of dissipate that throughout the phone. And then on the bottom, you still get USB-C, but the speaker grills, you do get one extra speaker grill right here. So a little bit better sound coming out of the bottom than on the 16 Pro Max. Don't know if anyone's actually mentioned that, but if you count the holes, there are more here compared to here, but these are the same 6 and 6. And then on the left side, you get your action button. If anyone uses this for anything else than a flashlight, I think you're a psycho. I don't know what else you could possibly use it for. That's your flashlight button. That's it. And then your volume rockers up and down, same placement there. The antennas and everything have been moved to the top, so you do have this little bar here. And then there is a new antenna that wraps all the way around the camera plateau for more space and saves it from being in the sides. And it's just a better placement all around. Some of the internals of the new 17 Pro Max is you get the new A19 Pro chip, which has a 6-core GPU and a 6-core CPU. And don't get that confused with the Air because it says that it has an A19 Pro chip. It's not the same one. It has one less GPU core in it versus the 17 Pro Max. So you're gonna get a little bit better gaming and you're gonna get a lot better battery in this phone as well. But that's the unboxing for the new iPhone 17 Pro Max. This phone is absolutely beautiful. I'm so happy with this. I think Apple did a great job redesigning the plateau. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and especially the comments on the color, and if you are picking one up, which color you are planning on getting. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please hit that like button so this video can find more Apple fans like yourself. And I've got a ton more content coming out, so hit that subscribe button as well. I got the Air video coming and then a ton of new cases for both the phones. So if you're looking for a new case, I got a ton of information for you. Again, I will see you in the next video. Peace.